So there's an infinite number of pathways to achieve our dreams. Oftentimes we can get stuck into this thinking of, this is the way it's got to be, and I got to get from here to there, or somebody told me that I have to do this to get to this next, So we are the ones that create the linear pathways to get from point A to point B anywhere in space-time. But we have actually infinite pathways. There's infinite portals so we can jump through. It's like Super Mario Brothers, like these video games. It's so funny that we are drawn to them because they actually teach us a lot about reality crafting. And remember Mario Brothers, the old school one, where you can actually go level to level to level, or in some of the levels you can find this little warp tunnel at the end, and oh wow, I just went to level 9, So that's similar to life experience. There's ways that we can, find loopholes in the matrix and arc the angles, so to speak. And so I just want to say that think bigger, I'm saying that to myself and to you and to everyone who's watching. Let's think bigger, and actually expand our sphere to include and allow the universe to do what it does best, which is create amazing, miraculous pathways for our dreams to manifest and for new opportunities to meet us and for new solutions to be found to problems that we have, or healing to occur, regeneration of our body, our cells, on every level, from the most physical to the most etheric spiritual thing we can imagine. There is infinite pathways to achieve that, and yet we put limitations on ourselves every day with our words, with our thoughts. And so I'd say that probably our greatest work as a collective is actually to get out of our own way and create even more space for presence to fill and then help us navigate ourselves into wholeness, into sharing and experiencing wholeness. When we're present, completely present, all the way here, completely all the way occupying this moment.
When you say that.
When we're here, all the way, anything's possible. We have access to it because we're actually here, and it makes sense. We can only reach out and touch someone if we're here to do that, right? If we're kind of not occupying this moment, and if I was staring at my phone over here, and you're so I'd miss half of what you're saying. Even I'm trying to be present, I'm actually not. So that's most of our lives now in this day and age, especially with technology. And many of our friends who are probably watching this are looking at a screen. It can be difficult to stay present with a screen in front of your eyes, because the screen, again, it's false light. It's a really profound moment in time because we're inside of a dream within a dream, and yet this is the moment we're waking up, and others are waking up, and we're finding each other and helping to remind each other to stay awake. Because it's kind of like if we're swimming out in the ocean, and we're under the water, and we're trying to swim to the surface to get a breath, fresh air. And we've got all these people on the ocean. We're in this moment right now in history where few of us are have gotten to the surface, have taken a breath, but then maybe another wave comes and it crashes us, and we're down there again. We're just trying to get back up. But while we're down there, we're on social media, we're calling, we're going to events, we're going to clubs, people are drinking, numbing their minds, watching TV. That's all under the ocean. It's this slow motion world, life span, time, space. It's slow motion. As soon as you get up to the surface and take a breath, all of a sudden it's wow, clarity. Oh my God, what have I been doing with my time and my energy? And wow, I just wasted 2 hours on Facebook. And okay, wow, I just went outside, wiped my eyes. Wow, okay, I'm back, right? So it's every day we have to remind each other to come back into full presence again. And there's very few I notice who are willing and courageous enough to keep it once we have it. We kind of come in and out of it. That's more comfortable. Kind of like with our power sources, there's AC and DC current, right? Direct current or alternating current, which is kind of goes on and off, right? So in a way, it's kind of like that. We have alternating presence where we kind of come in and out of it, right?
Yeah,
because
call it hitting the snooze button.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. So I propose that once and for all, we, instead of hitting the snooze button, we just sit up in bed or come to the surface of the ocean, take a deep breath, and then look at how can we build a big old life raft right now. If we got enough of us together, great, let's all sit on that. Oh, cool, now we've got a foundation to actually start to understand and become lucid in this dream and actually create, So, good job.
The moment I asked that question, your body did something like this, and then you were going to shit.
Yeah, it actually, what it did was I became aware of a feeling of my sphere being in water. I felt all of a sudden like I was immersed in water, and partially because of the analogy we were just diving into before, being in the water and coming to the surface as being kind of like the 0 point of truth, of actually being awake, aware, lucid. I love all people. I love myself. I love you. I love all of humanity. But when we look across the board, most humans, could we really say that they are awake, alive, living their purpose? Many, 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 many people are so many layers under that it's like where to even start, how to even get onto a path of a conversation that could lead to a place where they can truly look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am here, I'm living my truth, I'm living my purpose, I'm awake, right? We're at varying degrees and levels of being awake. I myself slip layers under each day, and have to like kind of re-emerge back into, yes, here I am again, I'm fully present. So it's a work in progress, and there's no right or wrong about it. But just to paint a picture, we're all at various degrees of being kind of still under the surface to even get to a point where we can say, I've arrived at 0. Now we can start to create something, right? So with that in mind, when you mentioned when you just created an invitation to see what else is here in the space that wants to be spoken, I immediately saw our spheres as we're sitting on this couch actually immersed in water. And I guess what I want to say is speak to that, and what that symbol represents to me is that we all know we're made mostly of water. One of the things that I've started to practice is to become impeccable with the water that I put into my body and the water that I shower in, put on my body. It is up to us to take those extra steps to get to a point where we can start to speak, feel, behave with clarity and purpose again. And in order to do that, the number one thing that I've been tapping into recently, like what's the front edge of my sphere right now, is water. It's actually every day. Like I'm in a new relationship with water. I was just before you came here, I was up on the roof looking at the clouds. And it sounds kind of silly, but I sit there and I actually talk to clouds. I say thank you to the clouds. I ask them how they're doing. How was your day? How was your journey of evaporation to become clouds? That must be so amazing. Tell me about it. So I have these conversations with the clouds, and I notice that the more I can be in a relationship with water that's healthy and in balance and in a spirit of wholeness and connection, the more I feel a sense of wholeness and balance in my own body, because that's me. We are water. So I know that's a bit of a tangent, but that's actually probably one of the most important things that I feel I can share, because it's what I'm the most focused on right now, and the most inspired about actually, is water, light, sound. The ways that those three things are interacting. I love what happens when you shine light through water, right? When sunlight comes through your window and hits a glass of water on the table, and you notice the designs it makes on the table. We've all seen this in many, many times. And if you were to actually become fully present with what's happening when that interaction is happening, you would probably understand more about yourself and what's really happening in this realm than in 100 of the greatest, most spiritual books.
It's one of
That-
ones meant to-
That actual union of elements and forces can actually tell us more about what's really going on here. So I just want to invite everybody who's listening to look into, if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, as they say, to look into magnetics, electricity, water, light, and the way they interact with each other, and sound, and the effects that sound have on our environment, which is why this beautiful brother here kept bringing up the word at the beginning of this journey, and what the power of our words. Well, words are sounds that we make, shapes that we make with our mouth, and using this incredible tool of these vocal cords that are somehow able to vibrate together and create these sounds that we associate patterns with in our minds. Because even as I'm speaking right now, if you're listening, you most likely are also kind of seeing these words or understanding the shapes of them in your mind, and they equate to different things based on the connections you've made with what these words mean. But you can go deeper than that, and I invite everyone who's listening to go one level deeper than that in your listening and actually feel the vibrations behind the words, and that's the music, and that's the sweet spot of life, is that that's where the magic is, as they say, the melodies that are actually helping to superconduct the energy through these words, because the words have meaning, yes, but it's the magic, it's the music behind them, that's where they really start to take on power. So I'm learning, just like you and just like everybody out there, to explore and harness this power and to create beautiful things with it. And I want to just thank you right now for opening up the space for this conversation and allowing some of these explorations to